So I struggle a little bit with ADHD, and oftentimes my brain, it feels like it's going 1,000 miles a minute. Sometimes it even feels like it's a record spinning backwards, and I can't even make sense of the words in my brain. Sometimes it can be really difficult doing these videos because I don't script them, and oftentimes my words are jarbled and see, that's why you oftentimes will see a lot of splits or cuts in my videos, because a word comes out that doesn't even exist, or I don't quite fully know what it is that I'm trying to say. Someone will drive by or someone will walk by and I get distracted. So it can be really frustrating sometimes. But when I get to detail a car, for some reason, it's the only time that my brain actually is quiet. It's still. And I can actually, right now, I can hear the water dripping from the gutter. I can hear the birds chirping in the distance. And when I get to detail cars, I feel like I'm more engaged with my senses. Do you guys feel like that sometimes? It's definitely therapy for me. And today I actually have to wash this vehicle in the rain. It's been raining for the last 2 days straight, and it's gonna be raining for the next 2 days. So even though we have to get this ready for a ceramic coating, I'm not worried about that, because we're going to be working with a coating that, one, it's pretty easy for me to prep a brand new vehicle. I'm going to share with you guys some quick steps on how you can detail and ceramic coat a brand new vehicle quickly. For those of you that have purchased a new vehicle, we're going to do a wash, chemical decon, clay tile treatment, a quick polish on this paint. It's brand new. We shouldn't have to do much, but we still need to polish this vehicle even though it's brand new. We do have some sort of hydrophobics on the paint. I don't know if it's protection, or I don't know if it's just because it's new paint. This actually came fresh off of the boat last week. So this is a brand spanking new 2025 BMW M3. I'm gonna be applying the 8-year ceramic coating from Clean by Pan, the organizer. I have been extremely impressed with the 3-year ceramic coating that is on my own Subaru Outback. At 5 months, it is holding up fantastic. I have not seen any sort of mineral deposit issues or clogging issues. It looks like day one, and it's been out in the rain. It's been out with pollen all over it. I would say a little bit on the neglected side. I'm kind of torturing these coatings out in the real world, and the 3-year ceramic coating is holding up strong. So I have great expectations that this 8-year coating is going to surpass that. We will be seeing this vehicle hopefully every 6 months. So for those of you that want to see real world updates on the 8-year ceramic coating from Pan, make sure you subscribe and follow, and we'll share with you guys updates on how this coating is performing out in the real world. Even though we're dealing with some wet conditions and trying to apply a ceramic coating, that's not going to be a big concern for me, because this coating actually only has a 1-hour cure time. Now, I do get asked a lot of times from beginner detailers, or maybe you're just looking to ceramic coat your vehicle yourself, how long does that process take? You're going to do a wash, chemical decon, clay tile treatment. That should realistically take me about 1.5 hours. We're going to do a very quick polish on this paint. It's going to remove whatever protection is there, refine it after doing our decontamination, a quick panel prep wipe, and then apply our coating. The coating should take about maybe 1 hour to apply, polishing maybe 1 to 2 hours. So from start to finish, we should be able to get this done in about 4 to 5 hours if I push myself. And I know that a lot of you might not have an entire day to devote to applying a ceramic coating to a vehicle. I know sometimes beginners or maybe just enthusiasts will wash it one day, polish it another day, and then ceramic coat it another day. And you can totally break it up into pieces like that. I wouldn't recommend breaking up the coating process though, because in areas where you overlap, you only have a very small window of time to layer a coating. So if you were to apply maybe 2 panels, and then come back the next day, that coating on the panels that you've already done is going to want to repel the new coating from actually being applied, and you could have some streaking issues. So realistically, if you can, ceramic coat it all at once. But this coating is actually very user-friendly to work with. I'm going to share with you some tools on how to make the ceramic coating process easier and less stressful. And then we're going to share with you guys the finished result afterwards. So let's go ahead and get set up. This is going to definitely be a little bit more of a therapy day for me. Less talking. I just want you guys to enjoy the process. And if you have questions, let me know in the comment section down below. But let's go ahead, get our rain gear on, and get to washing this vehicle in the rain.
5 hours, starting now.
One of the best tips that I have found to manage my ADHD is to set timers so that I can pace myself so I don't get distracted. For our contact wash, we're using Detail Co. their soft wash. This is a pH neutral soap, has a ton of lubrication, which is important because with this being new paint, I want to try to reduce any sort of marring so that way we don't have to do as much polishing work. For our tires, we're using Vonix Delete, and for our wheels, we are using Purist Wheel Cleaner and Iron Remover. This is a high lubricating, color-changing formula. Because this vehicle has ceramic brake pads, there was a ton of brake dust, and these wheels were so intricate. So thankfully, the wheel mitt did a great job at allowing us to get in all those intricate areas without damaging our black wheels. Even though this is literally fresh off of the boat from Germany, I'm not sure if the dealership put any sort of protection on it. So just to try to chemically remove whatever is on the paint before we have to polish it, we're using Detail Co Hard Wash, their high pH soap, to try to weaken any of the protection that might be on the paint before we come in and do our contact wash. Again, I'm trying to be as mindful of the paint and remove the protection and be conservative on the clear coat. You can see after rinsing, we do have some sort of surface tension going on the paint. I'm not sure if that is from protection or just fresh paint. So we're still going to go through all the motions as if there is protection on this paint, just so that way we have a pure stripped surface before we apply our ceramic coating. If you have a new vehicle and after you've done your contact wash, your paint looks like this, where we have no beading, it can almost practically sheet dry. To me, that would say we have nothing on this paint. Sometimes new paint will look like this, where it will sheet. It doesn't mean they put a sheeting product on there. Fresh paint will do that. But you could technically just skip the polishing step then if your paint looks like this and go straight to a ceramic coating if you're satisfied with the condition of the paint. New paint can still have some scratches on it though, and even during our wash process, when we're doing our clay tile treatment, we might induce some mild marring on the paint. So if you have defect-free paint and you have no protection on it, you don't necessarily need to polish. And even if you're satisfied with the condition of the paint and you have no protection on it, you can technically skip the polishing step and go straight to a ceramic coating. So new vehicles, you don't always have to polish. However, if you have protection on there, after washing, you still have some beading, I would polish. If you are not satisfied with the condition of the paint, be it from marring during the decon process, maybe at the dealership, they picked up some love marks, that's where I would say polish, do your panel prep step. Next up, after our contact wash, we're going to do our decontamination using Detail Co Iron Remover. This is one of the best smelling iron removers you're going to find on the market. It honestly smells like the beach. And we're going to use the DIY Detail Clay Towel. This paint is actually pretty pristine, but you still don't want to skip the decontamination step even on a new vehicle. There might be some rail dust that they might have picked up during transport. So it's always good just to do this step even on a new vehicle. But we're going to go ahead, go over the surface with our iron remover and our clay towel. And then once we are done, give that a really good rinse just to make sure we have no residue left behind. Dry it off, pull it into the garage, and we're ready to move on to our polishing step. Because it's been raining all day, it's super humid in the garage. So if you have the, whoa, where are you going? Hi there. Whoa, stay with me. It's super humid in the garage. So we're just gonna turn the mini split on with the AC on just to try to dry the air out in here. Most coatings are not a lover of humidity. Very rarely do you find one that works well in humidity. So just to give us an easier application, we're gonna try to pull some of the moisture out of this air. Not only do most ceramic coatings not like humidity, but they just don't like water, period. So it's really important before you apply your ceramic coating that you blow out water from all of your nooks and crannies, your emblems, your door handles, your side mirrors, even your wheels. So that way water doesn't set up in the coating. That can become a little bit of an issue if you do not get it. So we're just using our McKees 37, their hurricane dryer, to blow out all of the water from all of our nooks and crannies along the body, even our door jambs. So that way we have an easier application with our coating. So here is the moment of truth. Holy crap. Okay, this color is super cool. It's like very muted with gray, but you hit it with the light and that metallic flake is sick. Hopefully you guys aren't strobing too bad. But this paint is pretty immaculate. We have no protection. We're gonna do a panel prep wipe on this, and I think we will go over our piano trim pieces just very quickly with like optimum hyper polish just to dial them in, because during the wash and drying process they did pick up a little bit of love marks, because that's just piano trim for you. It's nothing major, but just to get it to match the rest of our vehicle. I mean, look at that. We do have a little bit more back here on the trunk, so we might just do like some spot correction. So all I'm really seeing is our lower rear rocker panel, our trunk. We're just going to do a very quick polish, but the rest of our paint, this is in fantastic condition. There's some right there. All right. It's the weirdest color, and there's like so much metallic flake in it that it's actually hard to see defects. There are very few minor ones. So we shouldn't have to do much when it comes to paint correction. Honestly, I'm just gonna focus on the lower portions of our panels and on our trunk, our hood, our roof. Everything looks fantastic. We're gonna use a mini polisher just to go over our piano trim pieces, just to refine them. And we do have some water just kind of residually dripping. And so that will just give us more time for that water to fully dry, because you don't want any sort of water dripping during the ceramic coating application process. You're just gonna end up fighting it. So this just gives it a little bit of time to dry, gives us more time to pull some of the humidity out, but we're gonna very quickly do a paint enhancement, probably orange or white foam pad. Just focus on the lower panels, trunk. Should be about a half hour of paint correction and no more. So thank God, an easy day for me in terms of paint correction. Most German vehicles paint tends to be on the harder side, which means if you have more severe scratches, you have to use more aggressive measures to remove them. But because our paint was actually in really great condition, we were able to pretty much perfect it with our orange foam pad and fabulous finishing polish from Phoenix EOD. After doing a few passes, we're going to wipe off all of our residue, and then we're going to use Clean by Pan's panel spray to remove all of the polishing oils to prep before our ceramic coating. You want to typically use the panel prep spray from the manufacturer of the coating you're going to be using, because it will pair really well with the coating. There are some that are more universal, but just to be safe, I always recommend using the manufacturer's panel spray if you can before applying the ceramic coating. So it took us 2 hours from start to finish to do our wash, chemical decon, clean towel treatment, polish, panel prep wipe, dry everything off thoroughly, and now we're ready to apply our ceramic coating. We might actually be able to get all of this done in 3 hours, which is fan-freaking-tastic. Now, I've done a dedicated video review on this coating in the past, so for those that want a closer, maybe a slower look at what this application process looks like, I'm going to put the link to that video in the video description box down below. But essentially, you want to go a little bit heavier on your applicator when you are first applying it. This is just going to prime it really well. And this is a thicker ceramic coating, and you can see as you're putting it on, it'll give it more of a wet look. And as it sits on the panel, you want to let it sit for about a minute or two, no more than that. You're going to start to see it rainbow. Now, on this color vehicle, you're not going to see it too well, but I'll show you in just a second with our softbox light what that coating will start to look like when it's getting ready to level. But because you have about a 1 to 2 minute work time with this coating, I find you can do 2 sections at a time, which means you can work a little bit faster with this coating. And you can see the rainbowing going on even better with our softbox light. After a minute or two, now it's time to come in and level. I like to do semicircles with this for your initial wipe off. And then for your second towel, you want to come in with straight lines. And we're using low GSM plush Mr. Everything towels, or you can even use the final one from the House of Rags. These are fantastic with this ceramic coating. I find has a little bit more bite to it, as this is a thicker ceramic coating, and just allows the leveling process to be effortless. What's so great about this coating is that even though it is thicker, you might think that it's going to be super grabby, but it's not. If you have grabbiness, you've let it sit on there for too long. It almost feels too easy for it to be this durable. I've seen exceptional results with the 3-year ceramic coating. Personally, I haven't seen any of the 8-year ceramic coatings back in my shop, but I do see this customer regularly as he's my chiropractor, and he has praised me for how great this coating is looking, for how much easier it makes maintaining his vehicle, and he is thrilled with the results that we were able to give him. Making good time with our ceramic coating, and for those of you that are new to coatings, what I like to do is I will do the hood, then I will do the roof, then I will do the front grille, and then I will do the back trunk area. And the reason why I do it in that order is, one, you're not leaning up against the roof. If you were to have coated the sides and then do the roof, it's not very efficient. But I always do the roof, then hood, then front grille, to get the intricate areas out of the way. Then I will do the trunk. Normally that is kind of the last bit of intricate area on a vehicle. And then from that point on, all you have to do is just your doors and your side panels. Typically those are a lot larger, those are a lot easier, and you can breeze through them. I am the type of person that when I am overwhelmed with something, I tend to procrastinate and push it off. And so by getting the difficult things over with, if I kind of leave the easiest for last, there's less likelihood of me getting distracted or losing focus and not getting the job done. Since our pad is good and primed, we don't have to put as much on, so I'm doing like maybe 5 or 6 drops for my sections. While I'm not a huge fan of the applicators, they actually do a really nice job at not absorbing a ton of the coating. You'll find with this coating, one of the best features is that a little bit goes an extremely long way. And I actually was able to do an entire door panel versus just a 3x3 or a 4x4 section at once. And so this just gives you more value for the product, and it allows you to work faster and not have to break things up into smaller sections. Even though my favorite type of ceramic coating is more of a sweating ceramic coating, they make it a lot easier to see the coating when it's ready to level. This is actually a rainbowing coating, and this allows you to very clearly see any sort of ceramic coating left behind and identify it with the softbox light to avoid any sort of high spot issues. So we are all done applying our 8-year ceramic coating, and we used a little bit less than half of the bottle. One thing I actually like about his bottles is that you can see how much you used. So you can definitely get 2 sedan-sized vehicles with 1 bottle. So this detail from start to finish took about 5 hours for me to complete. We charged the customer $900 for the ceramic coating and gave a free complimentary interior vacuum, and he actually paid $1,200 for the entire service. So $300 tip. Not bad for 5 hours of work. So we started at around noon. It is now 5 o'clock and we are completely done with this vehicle. Even on the inside, we did a quick courtesy vacuum. We applied Vonix Synergy wheel on our wheels just to give us a little bit of protection. ADS Ghost on our tires. Everything from head to toe on this exterior is cleaned, corrected, and now protected. Even though it was a brand new vehicle, we still had some minor issues that we needed to address before we applied our ceramic coating, but they weren't necessarily like hang-ups. For those of you that you don't really notice scratches, technically we could have just washed, decontaminated, and then applied our coating. But for those of you that maybe want to dial the paint in a little bit more, you can see it didn't take a ton of effort. I didn't have to chase paint perfection or be super aggressive. And we were able to get this paint perfected and now protected with our 8-year coating. Took about an hour from start to finish for us to apply this coating, and honestly probably a little bit less than that. It is a very user-friendly coating. So for those of you that have brand new vehicles and want one of the best ceramic coatings that I have tested on the market, as far as retail wise, I encourage you guys, check it out. I do have some coupon codes to save you guys some dough in the video description box down below. And we'll put the link to all the products that we use to prep this vehicle for those of you that are looking for recommendations. But hopefully you guys enjoy this closer look at what all really goes into prepping a brand new vehicle for ceramic coating and how long it takes. A lot of it is going to come down to the paint condition and your desire for paint perfection. But if you have a brand new vehicle, honestly, a quick zip, you should be good to go. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comment section down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this closer look at this BMW. Scott, hopefully you're going to enjoy it, and hopefully we'll see this vehicle back in 6 months to share with you guys an update on how our 8-year coating is performing. But thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the very next detail. I really want to see what the hydrophobics look like. I mean, I don't want to make it like dirty or wet, but this thing turned out so freaking amazing. I don't have a single high spot. Thankfully, the softbox light helped us avoid any sort of issues. This gloss is ridiculous. I think my customer is going to literally be speechless. At least I know I am. When I pulled it out, I was like, sometimes I just like high-five myself because it's not me, it's the products. But a little bit of it is me. But this is like jaw-dropping gloss. It's gorgeous. Let's see what it looks like wet. I think he's gonna be pretty happy with that. Yeah.